Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? I wish you are fine and doing great with your studies. So, as you were instructed to stay at home, I think you are utilizing your time properly. You are not killing your time doing the unnecessary works, and you are clinging to study. Being a student, study is your main job. Study is your main activity. So you must keen to study. We may do other things for refreshment, but our key focus should be on study. As schools are closed, so but we are connected here through different media, and I wish you will get in touch with every lectures and will revise this at home, practice from different test papers or previous year questions, or you may get many online resources if you search in the internet. So main discussion is like that. What I want to say you that show must go on. Nothing should be stopped. Study should not be stopped. It should go on as like earlier in full swing. So from English second paper today we will discuss transformation of sentences simple to compound. How to transform from simple to compound or compound to simple, vice versa. In earlier classes, we discussed how to transform from simple to complex. And that very class also we discussed what are the sentences actually. Simple, compound, complex. As I said earlier, these are types of sentence according to structure. Means what to do. So sentence will be arranged or organized according to structure. There should be structure, particular structure. So in case of simple sentence, it says that there is a subject and finite verb, and other extensions can be there, and it is an independent clause and that expresses a complete thought. Means independent clause means there's clause that can stand alone, that doesn't depend on other clause for its meaning or for its completion. So an independent clause, simple sentence means is very simply it's an independent clause that can express its meaning, it expresses thoughts, it expresses complete thought without depending on others. And compound sentence is very simple. Here two independent clauses, means two independent clauses, they can express their meaning alone, but here these two independent clauses are connected with some coordinating conjunctions like and, but, or otherwise. This much. So we learned what is called simple sentence, what is called compound sentence. Now we will discuss how to transform this, and so far 8 rules I mentioned here. I need to go through this, and mainly whenever you find any compound sentence, you can keep in mind two words. As I learned earlier that there should be two independent clauses, so you will separate this. Compound sentence means separation. You will separate the clauses, and in the middle there should be a conjunction. There should be a conjunction, and conjunction mainly most of the cases, around 90% cases, it comes like and or but. And when to put and or when to put but. And basically for same philosophy. If normal statements are there, if same actions, same philosophies are there, that be time we to add and. But if opposite things happens, if you say like adverse things happens, that be time will take but. So apart from and but, we may put or we may put otherwise. We'll see one by one following the rules. Well, so rule 1 says if the simple sentence is stating that a person is doing two things one after another, the compound sentence will mention the first thing before the second thing and join them with a conjunction and the tense will be same as of doing the second thing. So what you learned that if a person does two actions at once in a simple sentence, and whenever we to transform it to compound sentence, that better we to write the first action at the very beginning, and the second will write the second action, and in the middle there should be a conjunction named and. So but this action should be similar philosophy. So well, if you go to the example, then we can connect. Coming home, she had lunch. So if you want to change it to compound, then we get two actions here. One is coming home, another is having lunch. So as I said that we'll write the first action at first, then we'll put a conjunction, then the second action. So here first action is coming home. So you write down just as of the tense there. She came home, and second action is had lunch. That's all. Second example, so going to the office, I will write the article. So if we want to change it, same case, two actions here, going to office and writing the article. So we'll write the first action, I'll go to the office, and we'll write the article. Are you getting this? This is very simple, just separating the actions and in the middle placing an conjunction and. Second one also, third one also, another example, going to the varsity, she'll do the class. So same case here, separate the actions, she'll go to the varsity and we'll do the class, and in the middle place a conjunction named and. So that's all. So rule 1, we find that if a person does two actions in a simple sentence, that we attempt to change it to compound sentence, we'll separate the clause, we'll separate the actions, and in the middle we'll put a conjunction named and. That's all. Well, now let's see what happens with rule 2. Rule 2 says if the simple sentence has besides being. So if you find besides being these two words in simple sentence, and whenever we to change it to compound sentence, that bit we'll write not only but also. So just remind the two clue words, besides being, then not only but also. So if you see the example, then you'll be more clear. First example says, besides being beautiful, the girl is intelligent. So you want to change it to compound sentence, what comes? The girl is not only beautiful but also intelligent. Means after placing not only, you'll place one adjective, and after but also another adjective. So the compound comes, the girl is not only beautiful but also intelligent. So here actually we use conjunctions like not only but also. So as I said earlier, in most of the cases we use and or but there are some other uses or otherwise not only but also. This is another one like this. Second example says, besides being a brilliant student, she is a good singer. So here also we found besides being, so we'll take not only but also. So after not only we one adjective, and after but also another adjective. So she is not only a brilliant student but also a good singer. Last example says, besides being a good writer, he is an outstanding lecturer. It's like the second one. Here also two qualities are connected with besides being. So we'll write again not only but also. After not only one adjective, and after but also another adjective. So he is not only a good writer but also an outstanding lecturer. So rule 2 says in simply that if you find besides being in a simple sentence, then in case of changing or transforming to compound sentence, we will take not only but also. After not only one adjective, and after but also another adjective. That's all. It's very simple. Hopefully you are getting this and it's very convenient to you. Let's see what happens with rule 3. Rule 3 says if the simple sentence has in spite of. So in spite Bangla meaning is সত্ত্বেও. If you find this in simple sentence, and whenever you to change it to compound sentence, you to put but, joining the two different clauses. As I said earlier, most of the compound sentences are actually done with and or but. So here we see the use of but. So but in spite of means সত্ত্বেও, means we understand that any two actions will happen, and those are not similar to each other, means opposite things will happen. So in this case we will take but. So simple In spite of his poverty, the postman never shirks his duty. So someone goes through with poverty, so it's usual that he or she should avoid his duty or neglect his duty. But here, opposite things are mentioned. Like the postman, he does his job, he never shirks his duty. So things are not usual actually. So if the things are not usual, opposite things happens, unusual things happens, that very time we will take actually but. So the postman is poor, but he never shirks his duty. So if we find many examples like this, he is poor. So in spite of being poor, he lives a happy life. So if someone is poor, we see that people actually lament. People curse his poverty. They have many shortages, other things. But we see some exceptions also. Some people, they are poor, but they lead a happy life. So those are actually not usual things. Those are unusual things. Well, so this is the things like, in spite of his poverty, the postman never shirks his duty. If you want to change it to compound sentence, we find the postman is poor, but he never shirks his duty. Another example, it says, in spite of his illness, he sat for the exam. So if someone is ill, if someone is sick, so we have a tendency that we skip things. We do not take part in high voltage works like exams or other things like. But here he was ill, but he took the exam. So that's why it is said that he was ill, but he sat for the exam. So it is very simple. If you find in spite of, then you to take but in compound sentence. So we saw the example. Well, let's move to rule 4. What the rule 4 says, if the simple sentence tells a person must do something to achieve a certain thing, the compound sentence will follow this. The structure, person must do or otherwise the person will not, means we'll take or otherwise, and the next clause will write future tense, actually negative mood. So what the condition? If any person must do something, are bound to do something to achieve a certain thing, that very time or otherwise will be added as conjunction, and the second clause will be future simple but in negative. So you see if you see the example, then it will be clear. You must study hard to get good marks in the exam. So it is mentioned that it is instructed or advised to someone that he or she must study, and the achievement, the certain achievement is mentioned, means to get good marks. That's why it is said you must study hard, otherwise you will not good marks in the exam. And the one is simple, he must run fast to win the race. So another is actually running fast, and this is the action, and what is the target or achievement? He to get like win the race. So here also achievement is mentioned and person is bound to do something. So here also we'll take or otherwise. So what comes? The compound sentence, he must run first, otherwise he will not win the race. So second clause will be actually in future simple in negative mode. So rule 4 you can remind with the clause like that. You will put or otherwise if a person must do something and tries to get or achieve something, and second clause will be in future simple but in negative mode. So what the rule 5 says, rule 5 says, if the simple sentence dictates that a person must do something to escape, avoid a certain thing, the compound sentence will follow one of the following structures. Person must do or otherwise the person will be simple form, or person must do or otherwise the person will be participle form. So like this, earlier one, here also a person must do something to achieve something, but here person must do something to escape or avoid a certain things. So here achieve things, here escaping or avoiding things. In this case we'll here we wrote like we did like future simple but in negative, but here we will take future simple in affirmative, but the flavor will be negative words. Or you can use past participle form also. So let's see the example, then it will be clear to you. You must study hard to escape failure in the exam. So earlier sentence we found that you must study hard to get good marks, but here it said that you must study hard to escape failure in the exam. So in this case we will take otherwise, and in future it will be actually future simple but in affirmative structure, but the flavor can be negative. So you must study hard, otherwise you will fail in the exam. Fail in the exam. And second example says he must run first to avoid losing the track. Earlier one we found that he must run first to win the race, but here to avoid losing the race. So here we'll write he will lose the race. He must run first, otherwise he will lose the race. The culprit must run away to avoid his arrest. So here another avoid matches escape avoid mentioned. In this case we will take again future simple, the second clause. The culprit must run away, otherwise he will be arrested. So rule 4 and rule 5, actually these two structure have similarity. In rule 5 you must do something to achieve something. In this bit time second clause will be negative, future simple but negative. But here if you do something, must do something to avoid or to achieve any to avoid or to escape any consequence, that be time you here will take otherwise or otherwise, but the second clause will be affirmative, but the flavor can be negative, like fail in the exam. Fail the exam means it's actually affirmative word but expresses negative meaning. So I think these two rules are clear to you. If you have problem, go through this, watch again and again, and if you have a problem, talk to me, comment on the video sections. I will reply there, no problem. Now let's see what happens. Rule 6 and 7 says, Rule 6 says, if the sentence states any cause of person doing something, the compound sentence will first state the cause, then join the result of our outcome with a conjunction and. So if there is any cause and result in any simple sentence, that very time we'll first write the cause, then join the result with a conjunction and. Hopefully you are getting this. Means there should be, if there is any action there, it has cause and result. So first you will write cause, then we will write the result, but in the middle we will put a conjunction and. So let's see the example. Being guilty, he ran away. So if you want to change it to compound, what comes? He was guilty and he ran away. Another example, simple. Being so happy, he started to dance. Compound, he was very happy and he started to dance. See, the simple sentence states any cause of person doing something. So it's very simple. If cause and result there, first write the cause, then write the result. In the middle there should be conjunction and. It's very simple. Rule 7. So what rule 7 says, if the simple sentence has for having the result before it and it cause after it, then compound sentence will contain the conjunction so therefore, having the cause before it and result after it. So here also there should be cause and result, but if there is for, the word for, the written to change it to compound will take so or therefore. So the boss praised him for his hard work. So what the cause? Hard work, and boss praised. So we write first clause, he worked hard means cause, he worked hard, then so the boss praised him. So he worked hard, so and therefore the boss praised him. So this is about rule 7. Now let's go through rule 8, last rule for simple to compound. It says, if the simple sentence has to achieve having the result outcome before it and the cause and result after it, the compound sentence will have the conjunction and, all other things being the same. See, if results comes first, that be time cause will be as second, but in the middle and will be there as conjunction. So she came here to meet me. So this sentence has a condition like that, there should be two. So let's see the example. She came here to meet me. So if you want to change it to compound, it comes she came here and met me. And the example, she studied hard to get good marks. Compound, it comes she studied hard and got good marks. So if you find two in simple sentence and result come first, reason and cause after that. So in case of changing to compound sentence, we will add a conjunction and other things will be the same. So she came here to meet me, she came here and met me. That's all. So far we went through rule up to rule 8 for simple to compound transformation. It's all about for today's class. Hopefully you got this, you found this easy and helpful. Even still, if you have any question, queries or problems, feel free to contact me. You can make comments in the comment section, or you can knock me on my messenger, anywhere. But I wish you will get the things and you'll got a good figure in the exam. Well, keep fun, happy study. Thank you so much.